Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Casual Brews, and I'm back with something different here today. I'm going to be doing my Week 1 NFL betting odds picks. I'm not really much of a gambler, honestly. I enjoy following other people who do a lot of gambling and seeing their reaction to the scores and that based on what they've picked. I've done a little bit in the past, but I might start doing it more in the future once I think it's coming soon. Canada law is passing a law to approve single game betting, which in the past, technically, like legally in Canada, you can only bet parlays and that, which was kind of annoying. But yeah, so maybe I'll start doing it, you know, partway through this season. I honestly don't know when that law gets passed. I think it's pretty soon though, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, yeah, so I'm just gonna give these odds out, shits and giggles. I've always kind of been fascinated about certain teams getting this many points or that many points based on what maybe I think it should be. So we'll give these picks here. I'll rattle through them off the top of my head, no prior research or any thought to it. I'm just going to be reading them off the screen in front of me here and kind of giving my gut feeling pick, because generally it's oftentimes better than overthinking things. So we'll start with game one. We got Arizona getting 3 points at Tennessee. Over under. I'll make the pick first, then do over under. I like Tennessee -3 right away. Honestly, feel it's kind of should be higher personally. Arizona's obviously got weapons. They could maybe have a bounce back, breakout year, but Tennessee's well-rounded team. They obviously added Julio Jones. That's going to be a big factor. I like them. Over/under is 53.5. I think that's too high. Tennessee's defense isn't great though, but I think a game one, week one rather, you're going to see maybe a little less scoring. I like the under here personally. I think Arizona will actually struggle to score a little bit, maybe first game. Next, we got Jacksonville 3.5-point favorites at Houston. It's tough to really pick this one because I don't know what. I guess Houston's going with Tyrod Taylor. I don't know. Deshaun Watson. I mean, I guess so because yeah, otherwise they'd be favored in this game. I still like Houston in this game though. I think Trevor Lawrence obviously talented, but I think Houston hasn't built a terrible roster. Yeah, Tyrod Taylor's not going to light the world on fire, but he's going to do enough, I think. I think Houston at least covers. I don't know if I would pick the money line per se, but they're at least going to cover 3.5, I think, here. Over-under's 45. I'll say the over just squeaks by, barely. I can honestly see it being like 27-24 for either team. I honestly don't know. But at least Houston will cover that. Next game, we got Minnesota 3-point favorites at Cincinnati. Again, I think I think Minnesota's not getting enough respect with this line. Kirk Cousins is, dare I say, a little underrated, maybe even. I think they'll beat Cincinnati fairly handily. Now, Joe Burrow will be back, but it's his first start in like a long time. He was out early last year with the injury, obviously, so I like Minnesota by at least a touchdown here. Over-under is 47. Again, I'm going to go the over here. I don't think either team has that great of a defense. I know Minnesota, I think, made some improvements to their defense in the offseason, but 47, I think it's a bit low, unless that's thinking that Cincinnati won't score. But then the line should be higher for Minnesota, so take Minnesota, take the over. 47. Next, we got Seattle, 2.5-point favorites at Indianapolis. There was obviously question marks about if Wentz would play or not. He is playing now. It's a tough game. Seattle starts slow. Sometimes Seattle week one, I'd have to look up their, have to do research, but I think the record in week one games is not very good, especially on the road. 10 a.m. game, it'll help that that's their first game. They don't have to travel and get an early start. I like Seattle to cover this. I'm a Seahawks fan. Obviously, I made a video. I think they're going to win the division. I don't love the pick because I could, just if they were to lose this game, it wouldn't be the end of the world for their season. But I think they squeak by. It'll be a low scoring game. That's why I'm also going to take under 48.5 here for the over under. I think Seattle's offense will be good, but it might take a little time to get going because with the new coordinator again, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be the opposite of last season where the offense was amazing at first and then completely collapsed down the stretch. It'll be the opposite this year. I take Seattle. It'll probably be like a 3-point game, something like 24-21 or something, maybe 24-20 Seattle. So take Seattle, take the under 48.5 as well. Pittsburgh, Buffalo. Pittsburgh is getting 6.5 points, so they're 6.5 point underdogs at Buffalo. Buffalo, it's a tough one. I think Pittsburgh's going to be good this year. All reports say Big Ben looks really good in camp and preseason. They drafted Najee Harris. I think that was a steal. He's going to be probably the best rookie running back. It's not saying a lot, but he will be. I don't think there was a lot of good running backs that came out, but I think I don't know if I think they'll actually win, but 6.5 points to me seems easy. They'll cover that. I could see Buffalo maybe winning a one possession game down the stretch, just based off of kind of the role they've been on the last couple of years. Over unders 48. I like this over. I love that over. I don't want to put money on. I want to put money. That's like if I did bet, I might maybe I'll decide to do it in the morning. Who knows? But yeah, I like that over 48 big time. Next, so that's Pittsburgh plus 6.5 and over 48 on that one. Next game, San Francisco 8.5 point favorites at Detroit Lions. Now, I think San Francisco is being massively overrated. I get it; they made the Super Bowl just a couple of years ago with a healthy Jimmy G. He's back. They got Trey Lance, so they have options there. I think they'll roll with Jimmy G unless he completely falls off the wagon. I don't know, gets hurt. But I think they're being vastly overrated. Like everyone's projecting them to win the division. Well, actually, maybe not with the Rams too, but I don't know. I get it. They had tons of injuries last year, but they didn't show me. They haven't shown me enough to like be warranted, like be one of the favorites in the NFC. I think they're being overrated. Now Detroit's probably going to be pretty bad this year, but week one game, Detroit's got a new coach. They got a lot of fire probably. I think they keep this game close. I don't think they win, but I think they at least keep it within the score. So I would take Detroit plus 8.5 here. And then the over-under 45.5. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. I'm going to go under. Again, I think the Niners will have a good defense, but offensively, I think we saw what Jimmy G did in his last, in the Super Bowl. He wasn't very good. He's not that good, and they don't have a lot of weapons outside of Kittle, right? I mean, yeah, I like the under here, barely, maybe like 24 or 20, something like that, Niners. So take the Detroit points and the under here. Next, we got the Chargers and Washington football team. Chargers are getting 1.5 points. Washington 1.5 point favorites. It's a tough one. Washington's got a really good defense. Chargers defense isn't bad either. If they, Derwin James will be back, right? And their defense is pretty good too. I like the Chargers in this one. 1.5 points isn't much, so I would take them outright. The money line is plus 105. I would take that. I think Washington will have a good year. They'll compete in that division. They won't win it, but yeah, I like the Chargers here. Offensively, I think they just have a little more weapons. Better quarterback, Herbert, compared to Fitzpatrick. It's really not that close. Take the Chargers outright. And over under 45.5. It's a tough one. I think I take the unders. I honestly think the Chargers are going to beat them. I think Washington won't score much in this game. I really don't think so. So take Chargers. They'll win something like 27-13, I think. So take the under, just strictly because I don't think Washington will score much. Jets and Panthers. Panthers 4-point favorites. It's another tough one because really Jets are a much different team than they were last year when they were all-time bad, obviously. Panthers also a really new team. They have Darnold. Jets have a rookie quarterback. I think he's either going to be really good or really bad. I don't think he'll be kind of like the solid middle ground like I believe Mac Jones and even Lawrence will be. I think Wilson's the biggest X-factor quarterback of all the rookies. That being said, I think Carolina... I don't know, actually. This is a hard one. Again, I'm doing this off the top of my head. I haven't done any prior research, so... Take the Jets. I like the Jets. They did some things. They got some receivers. They drafted that kid out of Mississippi who's really good. I think offensively, the Jets are going to be pretty good. Their defense, they hired a defensive coach, so that'll help defensively. I could see them winning this game. I know 4 points isn't a lot, but I think they'll win. I think they'll win this game outright. Take the Jets. Over under is 45.5. I like this under as well. I like this under barely. So yeah, take that under. Philly, Atlanta. Atlanta's 3.5 point favorites in this one over Philadelphia. I like them to cover that one. They're just overall better roster. Not saying much. Neither team really has a great roster. I don't think either team will make the playoffs, but just maybe quarterback experience is going to be the difference here. Rosters are actually not that different. They got some good receivers, each team. Obviously Smith, but Falcons still got Calvin Ridley, and they got Pitts now, and both teams are going to be bad defensively, probably too. So take Atlanta and take the over to over 48. I think this will be, I think Falcons will score at least 30, and then I think the Eagles can give you like 20, 21. Next game, we got Cleveland and Kansas City. Kansas City's 5.5 points favorites over Cleveland. That's a hard one. This is a really hard one. I think this will be a good game down to the wire. Maybe come down to a field goal, so give me Cleveland with the points. I don't know if I would pick them to win, but I like Cleveland to keep it closer than that. Over-under is 54.5. That's too high. Give me the under. I could see something like 27-24 Kansas City in this one. So yeah, Cleveland with the points and the under. Next up, Green Bay, 3.5 point favorites at New Orleans Saints, who are playing in Jacksonville because of the hurricane. I like the Packers. I like the Packers here. Not by much, but I think they'll cover 3.5. I think Saints will have a decent year, though. I think Jameis will still will get better as the year goes on, but right out of the gate, give me Aaron Rodgers and his familiarity with all the receivers that he has seem to be had a good camp and all that. So I like Green Bay with the points here, and over 49.5. Give me that too. It'll be a high scoring game, I think. Denver, 3-point favorites at the Giants. Giants made some good moves. A lot of people are predicting them to even win the NFC East based on kind of the roster they put together. Good defense. They've upgraded. They get some skill positions, receiver in that, but Broncos defense is really good. Bridgewater got the start. He's going to be careful with the ball. All that sort of thing. I like Denver. -3. Over-under is really low, 42. I think it'll scrape by that barely. So give me Denver -3 and over 42. Very low over-under, but again, two good defenses, two questionable offenses, but could even get maybe a couple turnovers that lead the points in this one, honestly. So give me the over there. This is a good game here. New England, 3.5-point favorites at home against the Miami Dolphins. Historically, Patriots dominate Miami, at least in New England. It's not quite the same story in Miami, but yeah, I mean, they made a lot of upgrades in the offseason. Miami could be sneaky good too. I just think overall, weapon-wise, New England will have the edge here. It'll be a close game too, maybe within one score, but I think they'll cover 3.5. I think it'll be like 27-20. So for New England, so I'm also taking over 43.5 in this game. So New England and the over here. Next up, we got the Rams -7.5 against the Bears. Rams 7.5. It's a tough one. Obviously, Bears starting Andy Dalton. He didn't really show anything in the preseason that he should have started over Fields, but Fields obviously inexperienced. Comes from, being more of a college scheme quarterback. Obviously, it's history speaks for itself. Ohio State quarterbacks not producing in the NFL. A lot of that's to do with schematics. A lot of that's to do with their skill set. We'll see how long it takes before they make a change. If they come out flat here, which I think they will. Bears don't have even much to help Dalton with. Their offensive line is pretty bad. They don't have a ton of skill at receiver outside of Allen Robinson. It's going to be tough for Chicago to score, especially with LA with the Rams defense, which is worse than it was last year. They lost Josh Johnson, whatever. They will still be really good defensively. I have a hard time believing the Bears can even score 20 points in this one. So give me the Rams to cover that, and the under 46.5, just strictly because I don't think Bears can score much here. You know, Barstool Big Cat saying the same thing about his Bears. Yeah, they're not going to score. He doesn't even know how they'll score even like 13 points. So, yeah, I could see Rams winning something like 27, even maybe 30, just because maybe they'll get a turnover or two. Bears like probably 13, 16 points. Yeah, it's going to be the under here too. And I think last game, Baltimore 4-point favorites at the Raiders. Curious to what this line was before. I'm assuming this is a fresh line as of now, Saturday night. But obviously Ravens lost all their running backs. They signed Latavius Murray, though, which was big because really he is a starting caliber running back, but he was behind Kamara and now he's cut because of contract dispute, right? So he's now on the Ravens. They still start the rookie that had a good preseason. I forget his name, but yeah, schematically they can put anyone in there. They can put any guy off the street in there, and he'll run for 60 yards at least, right? So when you got the threat of Lamar Jackson running, that read option is just so deadly. I think the Ravens will have a bounce back year. And they were still good last year, but you know there's going to be Super Bowl expectations, you would assume here. So I like them to cover that 4 points. Raiders will be sneaky good too. It should be a close game, but I think 4 points is too low. I think Baltimore will cover that. It's in Las Vegas though. That could pose an issue. But yeah, I think Baltimore covers that. Lamar Jackson plays well on the road. He won in Seattle just 2 years ago, right? 2 years ago or last year? I forget. Jesus. Yeah, he won in Seattle already. It was last year. Yeah, it was last year. I think it was last year. Over under is 50.5. It's kind of high, but I like this over. Yeah, I think Marcus Peters is also out for the Ravens, so they're going to be thin at corner. The Raiders will score. Their defense has been bad the last couple years. Ravens defense will be worse. It's going to be a point fest, I think, in this one. I'll say something like 33-26 Baltimore. Those are my picks. Yeah, just right off the top. We'll see how I do. I don't know. I'll have to go back in this video and actually record what I picked and see how I do on Sunday. And yeah, there's that.